Hi, everybody, and welcome back. I'm having a bit of a rough time, and for no specific reason. But I've mentioned before that I get the odd bouts of depression, and usually I can use various techniques to overcome it. But the last week or two, I found it hard to do and not as effective. I've also been dreaming constantly, something which rarely happens to me. I'm usually so tired when I go to bed that I just close my eyes and go to sleep. But lately, and in particular in the early hours of this morning, I had a horrific dream and I just could not stop crying. I only started to find my feet around midday. Anyway, you are not here to hear about me, and staying busy and thinking about the royals and other nonsense takes my mind off my own nonsense. I received a number of DMs and email of people commenting on Meghan's voice in the trailer of a new podcast. Many people are saying that she sounds like Elizabeth Holmes in the trailer. And I listened to both, and yes, there are similarities. The thing is, though, that is Elizabeth's natural voice, but not Meghan's natural voice. So, why has Meghan's voice changed? Is there something going on? Or did she do it on purpose? Well, certain hormone therapies do affect our voices, and changing levels in hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, growth, and thyroid affect the quality of our voices. As a matter of fact, many female singers take HRT to extend their careers and prevent lowering of pitch. Aging of the voice box and the respiratory system bring loss of flexibility, and the voice will drop a pitch or two. Of course, things like smoking will not help and will bring hoarseness or that mock raspiness that we hear. Having said all of this, it could also just be that Meghan is purposefully lowering her voice. Studies I read, and coincidentally and strangely, these were studies from Northwestern University, Meghan's alma mater. Studies found that women lower their voices when talking to a man they find sexually attractive. They lower their voices when competing for a man. Many women would lower their voices in an attempt to sound more seductive. Women also lower the pitch of their voices when competing with men in the workplace. However, tests conducted showed that women who apply vocal fry, like Meghan often does, are less likely to get the job than a woman with what would be considered a normal voice. Strangely, another test proved that a woman with a lower or a husky voice tend to scare young adolescents, but teenagers actually love it. Now, I don't know whether Meghan is on some hormone treatment or whether whoever was with her was very sexy, or perhaps whether her intention with the podcast is to influence teenagers. I truly don't know. Meghan's mind is a maze that I do not wish to get lost in. Okay, I said I would say a few things about Prince Philip's memorial, and firstly, it really got to me a little, and I was incredibly sad. So sad that I was actually angry when reading other comments on the event. It is in the frailty of the Queen that we see our mothers and grandmothers and ourselves. And whether we are brave souls or not, it remains scary and sad. I looked at Her Majesty, and all I could feel was empathy. Yes, she made mistakes in her reign with her children, etc. But we all do. I'm willing to bet that there is not one person listening today who has not made a mistake some or other time. Some people are crippled by the mistakes they made. But others, like the Queen, have the strength to just keep on keeping on and try again to do their best. And for that, I admire her. 70 years of stress, heartache, and a rigorous schedule. A lesser woman, or even man, would not have made it to 96 like she did. I saw a truly sad and lonely woman during that service, one who had now come to the realization that her foundation, her husband, Prince Philip, has been pulled from under her. Also, a woman who is now facing the end of her own life and what and whom she'll be leaving behind. Maybe she has regrets, just like any of us. Maybe there are still things she wanted to do, just like any of us. Maybe she is still worried about some of her children or grandchildren. We honestly don't know because we do not live in her head, but all of it would be normal thoughts and reactions. Reading some of the comments on some of the platforms, however, left me in total despair at how far humanity had fallen into the cesspit of filth and hatred. But it isn't even the vile comments I wish to address, because those are from some mindless degenerates who will likely kill their granny for drinking money or never had a granny to begin with. But what I would like to address, and yes, I know I'm not doing my popularity any favors, are the vile comments with regards to Andrew. Whether I or you like it or not, Andrew is Prince Philip's son, and Prince Philip his father, and likewise the Queen is his mother. And it's not a secret how close he is to his mother. The fact that he made use of the services of a young prostitute is indeed gross. It is gross to all of us who have daughters, and gross to those with sons and husbands as well. And even though I had my doubts as to whether he really did or not, the fact that he settled out of court will now have me saying, yes, he did do that. So let's say it swayed the odds for me, okay? The point is that it does not make him a criminal. She was over the age of consent when they had their first interaction in the United Kingdom. And by the time he had the second and third interaction with her elsewhere, she was over 18 and thus again over the age of consent. Prostitution is also not illegal in any of the places they came across one another. Only solicitation and jaywalking, etc. is, and whatever happened, happened in a private residence. So no crime has thus been committed, and neither was Andrew ever charged with a crime. And that is how it will stay until someone can perhaps prove that he was involved with the actual trafficking. And if he was, I'm fairly sure we would have had a whiff of it by now. No, I am not diminishing the fact that Andrew is a rich, spoiled, entitled oaf who thought he was being funny and cool among his mates. And no, I do not like or respect him for it. It is despicable and very irresponsible. And yes, he should have paid a price. Every action has a reaction, and every deed a consequence. And he paid for his stupidity. He lost his honorary military titles. He lost his honor, never mind, lost his friends, and even had to give up his golf club. His way of life was severely impacted, turning him into a virtual recluse. I'm also sure he heard things from his brother Charles and his son William he never thought he would hear. And I am sure It must have hurt him to see his mother angry and saddened. But none of this makes him a criminal. It just makes him a fool and an idiot. But being a fool and an idiot should also not erase the fact that he did an excellent job for his country during the Falklands War. It does not erase the fact that he raised two independent, hard-working, and educated daughters, whether you like them or not. And nothing erases the fact that he was entitled to attend his father's memorial and sit with the rest of his family. I can tell you that there are mothers with sons who committed murder and who still visits them in prison, and when asked why, would tell you, because he is still my son. So much was made of him walking the Queen in, and I read everywhere that it was a message of this or a message of that, blah, 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 fish cakes. No, it is practicality. Charles and Camilla entered through the main entrance and passed all the cameras. William and Catherine brought their children, as did Edward and Sophie. All entered from the front and past the cameras. Having Andrew escort the Queen was not only because he was the only one to arrive alone, but it also saved him the trek past all the cameras. So in actual fact, by escorting the Queen, he got less attention and was less visible. From what I heard, it was indeed Andrew who convinced the Queen to attend by promising to walk with her. Would it have made a difference whether he sat with his daughters and their husbands or whether he sat in front with his brother Edward? This was not about Andrew and his past, nor about his brother Charles and his checkered past. It was an event to honor Prince Philip, and it was an event to honor the Queen and to show support for a woman who did what she could to support her country and her family. So go ahead and dislike me for my opinion, but I do not subscribe to cancel culture. And please go watch my video on Andrew and Virginia on my other channel before accusing me of approving of trafficking. No, I absolutely don't. And until anyone can prove to me that Andrew was involved in trafficking, I shall maintain my stance on Andrew, namely that he was an idiot and a fool and had now paid for his sins. So leave him alone to support his elderly mother. The other sons are busy as they are working royals, having to fill in the gaps left by Prince Philip, Harry, and Andrew. So let Andrew do something and earn his keep by supporting his mother. Something else I found rather perplexing was that Charles and Camilla arrived before William and Catherine. Thus, William and Catherine entered last, which is a slight glitch in the usual order. Whether it was just a glitch or whether it was arranged that way, I'm not sure, but it was clear that regardless of the solemn affair, that there were cheers and a commotion when William, Catherine, and the children arrived, something which did not happen when any of the others, including Charles and Camilla, arrived. I think it has by now been proven over and over that William's popularity has now by far surpassed that of his father, and I can't help but hope that Charles will decide to abdicate the throne in favour of his son and maintain his Duke and Duchy of Cornwall. I know it's nothing more than a pipe dream, perhaps, but I think a dream which will be in the best interest of the monarchy and Britain. Okay, guys and girls, so that is my story for the day. I have a whole list of things I would like to talk through with you. So I will be back soon. But until then, take good care of yourselves. Bye.